Hi, I'd like to welcome you to my Shambhala presentation. I am Jen, formerly known as Sifu Jen Sam, and I've been out of the country for more than almost 4 months now. And I'd like to give everyone a follow-up on what I have been doing and, of course, what has been happening to me here living in the Philippines. Now, I would like to begin my presentation as to the Shambhala Foundation, which is what I have pioneered and created here in the Philippines, which has taken a very long time to organize and to finally happen. And I'd like to welcome everyone, and I hope I'm going to be not too long with my presentation, but here I go. I'm going to introduce to you what the Shambhala Foundation is, and of course, what am I doing and what's going to happen in the coming year. So here we go. The meaning of the Shambhala, which is why I called it the Shambhala Village or the Shambhala Foundation, is, as I would read from here, is that it comes from the legendary kingdom of an enlightened society where people lived in harmony together and where people were able to explore and train and study and work together, and just everyone was able to transform and to experience life and to be awakened and to live their full potential as they would in a society that is enlightened. It's a legendary place known as the Shangri-La, or the Shambhala city, or the so-called in the Himalayan legend. And where the Shambhala village, which I have been constructing, developing, and working on now for almost 4 months, is located in the Philippines, in Tagumpo, Davao Oriental, which is right down the south. It's a beautiful place. It is the most amazing place that I've ever been to in the whole of the Philippines, other than, of course, Banawi and other places which are up the north. So let me continue. So the mission of the foundation, as I will read it to you, goes that the creation or the mission of the Shambhala Foundation is to create and promote a sanctuary and village where you are free to be yourself and learn the true nature of life, and living, promoting health and happiness, living in nature, with nature, in a community of like-minded people, teachers, people of the same likes, and of course living in harmony and learning and having your purpose and destiny of what you'd love to become. I offer, of course, eventually when we fully open up the foundation to all visitors and people to come there, is a what I call a retreat, health, wellness, for meditation, for contemplative arts, and of course to live self-sufficiently, which was my dream all along. And that was the vision of the whole idea of the Shambhala village, which I have pioneered and creating here in the Philippines. Now, I'm also going to be promoting the study, practice of all the traditional arts, and of course the systems of all the indigenous people, like the helots, they call them here, like the shamans of the Philippines in the different native tribes. And also I'd love to mention here that it's also a sanctuary where we're going to have monkeys and all sorts of animals that we protect. And of course we grow organic foods, and we have a lot of food in the wild, which is why we are basically making the whole place the sanctuary and retreat, resort, and a place where you can actually either retire, or you can come and live with me and the people who live with me, the families that live with me. And of course, we are non-sectarian, so we don't worry about anything to do with religion, in the sense that as long as you believe in God, our divine source, our prime creator, we don't have a problem. We are basically non-judgmental, we don't discriminate, and we just live spiritually with our hearts and mind. That's the vision of the Shambhala Foundation, which I am heading, and of course promoting and developing at this moment. So I'll just carry on with some of the other details of the foundation. We have what we call projects and infrastructure, which you can see here that I'm building. Of course, this is my house that I'm building here. And then we have like over 500 banana trees. We have over 300 coconut trees, mango trees, all vegetables, wild vegetables, and, very unusual mushrooms and so forth. We are going to also be developing a lot of the farming practices of growing organic vegetables, and of course having ducks, chickens, quails, goats, so we can produce cheese as well as goat's milk. This is the, as you can see, I'm sitting on there, large supply of bamboo. We have an amazing bamboo forest, which I'll take you through shortly. And then, of course, this is the pathway that goes towards my house, which is still in construction. I will keep a follow-up in the next coming weeks as I complete the 3-story Bahai Kubo, which is made from bamboo, coconut, lumber, and so forth. We avoid using any metal except for the main foundation and structure to hold the whole wooden structure, so that it blends into the forest and the whole entire what I call area. Now, the community, which we are also developing, and we have such a large area of land, and it's just so mountainous and beautiful, where we can all live together. And so we're developing a housing system. So we've got housing projects, and we've got a lot of other different amazing projects like swimming pools and the mango grove, where we're going to have monkeys and so forth. So it's going to be a wonderful place where you can live, or if you want, you can come and visit. And of course, we will be having a basic membership and sponsoring system where you get a chance to invest in yourself for your family's future. And of course, you get a chance to assist us in helping us to build the community and to build and develop the Shambhala village. That's another thing that I'll get into as I keep on developing the whole place, and we can then show you what we're doing. And if you find interest in living with us or coming to the Philippines to enjoy the resort and so forth with me, and taking you through different kinds of lessons and learning of different modalities that I teach, which I've been doing for more than 3 decades, I will be amazed to see you there. Now, as I continue, so the pioneers and the executive members of the Shambhala Foundation at this moment is myself, of course, and I've got executive members, which is Brian Donaldson, Gerald Jimenez, and Ruchel Darowan. These are the main executive members of the Shambhala Foundation, which we will be, of course, increasing as our membership increases as well. As I continue, the Shambhala Foundation is in collaboration also with the International Shaolin Yao Kung Mun Foundation, which is what I have been heading for nearly 30 years. It's collaborating and cooperating together, as of course I'm the pioneer of the village, and we want to create a community of course like-minded people and people who have been following me for many decades. Now, this part is just to follow up, if you've been following me on the internet, and if you go to my YouTube channel or to Facebook, you will find that I had left Australia due to the frustration of the system and, of course, due to the so-called COVID pandemic. I did not want my family to ever experience what's happening now, and I just found this the opportunity and the time to leave and to start creating the vision and the dream that I've had for decades of building a community and a village and a system where people can live harmoniously together and my children can grow up free without the indoctrination of the system. I took them away from Wi-Fi, I took them away from the internet, I took them away from the computer, I took them basically away from the whole entire system. The reason is that I wanted my children to grow up in a real situation where I grew up in, where you learn to live outside and experience nature. And I thought that would be the greatest thing I can give to my children. So I wanted to do the same thing for other people. And that's why I'm creating the Shambhala Foundation. So I had an Exodus series, which you can go online and you can see it. The Exodus series was how I went from the airport to the Philippines, from the quarantine that I had to do in the Philippines in the actual Manila hotel, to the eventually coming to the Cavite, where my family was staying, my children and my wife was staying. And this is where we finally left, and we got onto the boat, which took us all the way to Cagayan de Oro, which is the mainland towards Davao, to go to my adopted son, known as Gerald Jimenez, who was one of my students going back a long time ago, who I trained in acupuncture, and who has been dreaming of the same thing I have ever since I taught him that I was always dreaming of having a self-sustaining village and a place where we can all live together peacefully with no money, no problems. And that was the whole idea of this creation of the Shambhala village. So we got onto the boat with my family. I wasn't able to get all of my children as they were with other partners, unfortunately, but I was able to get all of my main children plus adopted children that I've got, and I took them to Davao. So the next step was to journey to Shambhala. So after spending the quarantine period in my adopted son's place, here he is here with me, and we are here where it took us about 2 hours from Davao City to get to this area, and they call it the dam, where you actually can't get there because the dirt road and the road that you want to go there is still being developed, and it's just very difficult to get there. So the fastest way and the easiest way to get there and the shortest way is we have to cross all these rivers. So, the first thing we got to, when you got to this dam, you get to this wall and we got to climb this stairwell, and you cross over and you go down into this valley here, and you will cross 9 rivers, which is a very interesting thing, because at that time, this is the view that I got, and I just thought it was amazing that we had to cross rivers, and 9 of them. So when you say Shambhala in Tagalog, Sham means 9. The Bala means bullets, but the Shambhala means 9 rivers. So it was sort of auspicious. And we crossed it on my birthday period as well, which was very auspicious. And it was just an amazing experience when I got to the actual land where we actually had to start the journey to Shambhala. So it was really amazing. I've never ever been so awed with the vision of the mountainous area, all the tropical forests around, and it was all the way up here towards this mountain here that we have to walk, and it takes around about 45 minutes to 1 hour to walk across there. So we started the journey, and when we finally got there, we are confronted by this village, and my family there, or my adopted family, my son and his family, have a house there which they've built for quite a few years. It's over here, and this is where they live in this village, which has around about 50 people. And they live very simply. As you can see, there's coconut trees everywhere. And there's about 50 people in this small village once you get there, after crossing all the rivers. And of course, we live very simply. As you can see, we stay in this house temporarily as the construction of my house is taking place. And then, of course, as you can see, there are houses on the other sides, different people who live there. It's a nice big open area where we sit. We can sit here and talk. And this is the fence line of the house of my adopted son. It's really quite amazing. It's an amazing experience just to go through it. And yeah, once we got there, we settled down, and I was quite exhausted. And then we went into the next day to actually go and see where we're going to develop the Shambhala village itself. In other words, where I was going to build my house, and everyone was going to basically live there and around that area, and where we basically have more than 10 hectares of land, mountainous and different valleys and everything, and lakes and rivers. So we started walking all the way along. I was videotaping the actual walk. And this is the scenery. You've got pigs everywhere, chickens everywhere. It's just a place that's lost in time, because there's no vehicles there. No vehicles go there. So we started walking there. And when I got there, of course, we decided that this is where I was going to start construction. So we started the construction of what they call the underground shelter, which was especially for storage of food, and of course storage of necessities and things that we need. Plus, we also developed the whole type of building system that I wanted to develop to make the houses fully self-sustaining, collecting water, and of course solar powered, so that we are fully self-sufficient and we don't need to rely on any outside sources for our so-called necessities, like you do in modern societies. So it's amazing, because the people there, they know exactly how to sorry about that. They know exactly how to build moving concrete and sand, and they got to bring it all over with these caravels, with these cows, and with motorbikes that they have sort of a self-made tray system where they can storage bags of cement and bags of all sorts of rock and sand, and they can carry wood. And yeah, it's just quite amazing how they're able to move the resources and the things that I need to build and so forth. So these are just some pictures of the constructions of the underground, which is already finished now. We're now in the second phase of finishing the first floor, and then we're going to keep on going up to the second and third floor of the all bamboo coconut housing system that I'm trying to develop. It's amazing. So this is the path that we took. If you look at the this area, it's just all untouched, undisturbed tropical forests. And this is the path we took, where you'll find caravels like this. And of course, that's my partner here. You'll find that the land is just so full of everything you need. And then, we carried on onto the path where we go towards what I call the mango grove, where we have over 50 mango trees and banana trees. It's all over the place. It's just so big. It took us an hour and a half to go around it and then over and down. As you can see, I'm climbing the hills and the mountains, also going down some of them. It was very exhausting actually, because it's a lot of hard work, and we have a lot of work to get these things organized. So as you can see, the bamboo forest, which is the most amazing place. That's how we get our own bamboo to do our own growing and so forth. And then we've got also the organic foods that we were able to collect throughout the whole entire forest, which is just amazing. We got bananas, you got mushrooms, we have guava, rambutan, these amazing flowers with these little pods that are so sweet. Of course, lychees, moringa, and then of course all these different spinaches and leaves. These are all grown organically and all grown completely without chemicals. And we have abundance to last us forever in this land. So it's just amazing. It's an amazing place. I can't talk how wonderful it is, and that we are so blessed to have this amazing land, and that we can also expand as we keep on growing. So I'm always going to keep everyone on a follow-up. As you know, that I can't always communicate with you because we don't have internet. We don't have any signal capacity other than an emergency cell phone, which is only on a normal grid, like 3G, and only in a certain area near the mountain. And that's what I really like, actually. It's great for training. It's great for not being electromagnetically radiated. And of course, it is great for your health. So, you'll be continued with great follow-ups of what's going to happen in the future. And then, of course, this is part of the traveling that we do there. This is what I call the Carabao train, or we can call the Carabao traveling train. And it's just the most amazing thing. And to go riding on this Carabao to cross all the rivers and everything, which takes you about an hour, they can also take you in that. Eventually, we're going to have that as one of our tourist attractions to show everyone and to see what it's like to travel without having vehicles and so forth. That's also another way for us to bring supplies over there, especially large sacks of rice, and of course a lot of things that we need to carry which are too heavy. Or we use horses. They got a lot of horses. We have horses. We got goats, and of course we're developing all of our other animal husbandry things. This is another amazing place. We actually have a waterfalls, which is only about 15-20 minutes walk into the forest, and it is an amazing place. I took my family there, and of course I had a great time. I also trained there, and it is going to be an amazing place for everyone who comes there. I would love to take you there and show you what it's like. It's all natural. It's untouched. It's all unspoiled. And the Shambhala basically can host you into the most beautiful, untouched tropical land that we are living on and enjoying our life to the fullest. So I hope one day you can join me in this most amazing, beautiful place. And then, of course, these are the scenic views of the area around the Shambhala and next to the city of Mate, which is one of the closest cities to us, which is only about 20 minutes away as well. It's such a beautiful land, and we intend to have so many unbelievable things happen in the Shambhala village. So, yes, I would like to let everyone know that I will continue to update you, and that I hope you've enjoyed this small follow-up and update. and I will keep you updated as I go. Namaste, and may you be well and happy.